This video is going to be talking about how I helped Australian influencer Prime Train make $106,000 in the last 12 months using email marketing. Here's a bit of proof from you, an email that we got from Clavio showcasing some of our results from the previous 12 months, $106,000. This is a strategy we also use for many other e-com stores like Mutamar, Recovery Mate, One Palm, Crutch Subs, Jim Bradley, The Grooming Lab, 9 to 5 Fitness, and a few other businesses like Alfie Gets Hard, The Breath House, and many, many more. It's important to know most of you who have watched the next 20 or so minutes of this video will already be sending emails, and you're probably doing a decent job at it. Because if you're not, a lot of what I'm about to say probably won't make sense. All right. So, if you have no idea what email marketing is, you've never done it before, a lot of this is not going to make sense. So just note that before you dive into this. When I started email marketing 4 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I began working in an online store as a junior digital marketer, and they tasked me with the job of handling email marketing. Funny that, I had no idea what I was doing. So what was the logical thing to do? I headed straight to my inbox just to look at what all the other big brands were doing. I wanted to employ their tactics because, if they were big brands, they're probably doing something right, correct? Well, from that, soon I had what I thought was a good email strategy. The business I was working in, they were turning over probably $2 to $3 million a year, and I was probably contributing $500,000 to $600,000 of that, 20%, thanks to our email channel. And everyone was happy. I was happy. My boss was happy. Obviously, they're paying me like $20 an hour or something, and I'm making them $500,000 a year in sales. Happy days. Everyone is happy. I was not about to go and change anything. But it was at the same time I met my mentor. He worked in some of Australia's biggest e-com brands. He was a chief of marketing. He was a head of marketing at others. He had a strong background in email. I'm pretty sure he started off working in email marketing. And he was really interested in what we were doing. I was sort of giving him some information on how we were going, some of the strategy I was employing, and most of all, the fact that we were making $500,000 to $600,000 a year in sales from email. But he looked at the strategy, which consisted mainly of me finding creative ways to sell our products, and said, no wonder you're only bringing in 20% of your revenue from email. And I was taken back from that because I was like, 20% of revenue, in this case, $500,000 is a lot of money. What do you mean only? Like he framed it like I was leaving a lot on the table. And it was on this day that I learned about his 3% rule. And I say his 3% rule loosely because this is a pretty common rule of thumb in marketing that you probably have heard plenty of times. Percent rule is essentially that in a market, in a total addressable market, you have a whole portion of people. This little diagram here explains it. 3% of them, pretend this doesn't say email list and this says the total market. 3% of them are ready and willing to buy, but the overwhelming majority, like 97% of people, need to be convinced to purchase. So this applies to the entire market, but this also applies to your email list. If you have a group of people who are in a total addressable market, potential customers, or on your email list or anywhere, there's a good chance that only about 3% of those are ready and willing to buy today. They want to spend money today, where the other 95 to 97% are not willing to spend money today and they're not ready to spend money today. So by sending emails that were just finding creative ways to sell our products, we were only ever appealing to the 3% of people who were willing to buy. This is because I, and like 90% of brands are still doing, we're just focusing on exactly that, sending emails about our products to a list of people where the overwhelming majority are not ready to buy. Do you think people who are in this 97% who need to be convinced to purchase are going to want to receive just a ton of different emails showcasing how cool our products are? Probably not. They're not going to resonate. If I am getting an email about a protein powder and I don't want to buy protein, I'm just not going to open it because I don't care. I need to be nurtured. I need to be nurtured from this list of people into the small percentage of people who are ready and willing to buy. Look, maybe by chance your emails are so good or you have such a good offer that a portion of these people become part of the 3% by chance. They become interested because, at the end of the day, that's what copywriting is about. Direct response copywriting, you want to make people feel a certain way. You want to make them problem aware, and you want to take someone from cold to sold. But a lot of the time, that takes a long period of time. You can't just do that by sending emails. And each time you just send out, you can't do that by sending individual emails, sorry. And each time you just send out individual emails about products, you're not building any rapport. You're not taking anyone any closer from needs to be convinced to purchase to ready and willing to buy. But if we could utilize a different strategy, that is, the sole focus is to nurture a greater percentage of these people into the list of people who are ready to purchase, would that not have a better ROI in the long term? Many of you who are running a store are probably attributing anywhere between 10 to 25% of revenue from your email channel. But more often than not, there is a ton more to gain here. And that's because in the current market, the email strategies get saturated so quickly. They're mainly product focused. Brands take far too long to adapt. They're running strategies like 10% off pop-up forms. They're just extending sales, flash sales that they're already running. They're then going, oh, extended for 24 hours. They're just sending emails showing off their 5-star reviews. And they're even pulling gimmicky tricks like internal family discount codes. And most of all, everything is about their products. I forgot to add that one. And 1 year ago, all of these strategies were considered good. Now, many of them are obsolete. Like, if you had shown me this a year ago, I would have been like, wow, this is a pretty cool strategy, or even maybe 2 years ago. But now, if you send a lot of these, you're probably not making much money through your email marketing compared to what you could be making. Then you mix in the fact that Gmail and Yahoo are making it harder to land in the inbox with their February 1st sending requirements. And brands can't even get their emails read by their consumers because more and more people are landing in spam folders. Recently, we had a client, not Prime Train, but we had another client who was doing 100K a month selling beauty products. They had bad deliverability. They weren't landing in the inbox, and they were just consistently sending emails that made up a strategy just like this. I pretty much pulled this list just from their strategy. And that, they were making all right money. They're doing 100K a month, and they were probably doing about 20K, 10 to 20K of revenue a month from their email marketing. Decent money, 10 to 20%. It's a big chunk. But once we move them over to our system, the system we use for Prime Train, the system we use for all those other brands, and focused on engaging larger portions of the list, not just the 3%, focused on engaging the 97%, we were able to improve deliverability and add $15,000 to their top line pretty quickly. Now imagine how much this is costing even bigger brands. If it's costing brands doing 100K a month, 10 to 15, maybe even 20K a month in revenue. Imagine the brands who are doing 500K a month, the brands who are doing $1 million a month. They're leaving so much money on the table, it is not even funny. Those are in one of 3 boats from this exact reason and from exactly what I'm seeing in the market by talking to the founders and doing audits. Founders are managing their emails. They're spending 15 minutes a day or 15 minutes a week throwing things together. They're not monitoring their deliverability. They're just trying to do the bare minimum to get the job done. And they're making some sales to that ready 3%, the 3% who are ready to buy. So they're pretty happy, they're making sales, whatever. They're getting by. They're so busy. Or they're relying on people like me 4 years ago, junior or assistant marketers from an in-house team who were just wasting so much time on email. Like, it was crazy how much time I was spending trying to perfect emails through flashy designs, even outsourcing designs to graphic designers, and all for us just to push products, attribute 15 to 25% of revenue, but still leave 10 to 15% on the table. We didn't have a good strategy to engage the most amount of people possible, and we lacked consistency, and it was just a whole waste of resources. And for the results we were getting, like, for the time we were putting into it, you probably would have even wanted to get better results, just like most brands who use an in-house team. Or thirdly, they hire a shitty agency. They know their emails need an overhaul. Maybe the founder's finally had enough. He's run out of time, and an agency reaches out at a convenient time. So the brands hire these agencies just to get email off their plate. But like 90% of agencies, they probably don't have good experience. They try to force sales from the list to justify like some stupid high retainer, and they end up sucking. And all of these 3 things have something in common. They result in the same outcome: a bad email strategy that only appeals to that 3% of your customers who are ready to buy. Or even worse, they end up just landing in spam. So you probably already know that 97% of your list isn't in the market to buy. It makes sense. If you think about it at the core of it, like if you have 100 people come through your website every day, how many people end up buying? 2 or 3? Yeah, it's a pretty standard conversion rate, and it applies to the whole market. But yet, nearly every single brand still just sends emails about their products. And this is a metaphor I like to use. It's like going to a brewery or a bar on a Saturday night and trying to sell your protein powder. So I'm Mr. Ecom store owner. I've gone to the local bar on a Saturday night and seen 2 blokes on the bar counter having a beer, having a yarn, enjoying their beer. And I go, hey guys, would you like to buy my protein powder? They're going to say, get out of here, nick off. Like, we don't want to hear from you. Instead, the smart ecom founders are sort of convincing that person that they should go to the gym on Monday. They're at the bar, but instead of saying, do you want to buy my protein powder? They're sort of slowly getting in that person's head and convincing them that maybe they should make a change and go to the gym on Monday. So over time, after 3 or 4 Saturday nights, he goes, maybe this person's onto something. Maybe I should go to the gym. So on Monday morning, he walks himself into the gym, promising to make a change with his life. And the smart ecom founder's now standing there with his protein powder going, time to buy, right? And he goes, all right, I'll buy. So instead of trying to shove the product down their throat when the time wasn't right on the Saturday night, the smart founders are convincing the person that they need the product, waiting for them to make the change, and then going in for the sale. And by design, they make more money. The only difference between these two founders, the one who's being pushy on the Saturday and the one who's waiting till the Monday, is the one who's waiting till the Monday is, willing to put in more effort to get the sale. They're willing to nurture the customers to sale. So they end up making more sales in the long run than this sleazy salesman ecom founder who's just pushing their products. He doesn't want to play the long game with his customers. He doesn't want to nurture people to a sale. He just wants to find who is ready to buy now and make those sales. But I'm going to show you exactly how much this is costing you and how you're going to fix it. Because realistically, look, I can't blame a lot of people for doing this. And I'm not trying to call out ecom founders or in-house teams who are just pushing their products, because it is the easy thing to do when you're time poor. We all know and love our products. Every founder knows so much about their products. The easy thing to do is to jump on email and talk about your products because you know them in and out. But learning about your audience, learning about your customers, and learning about what they might need to go from cold to sold is a skill, and it's a skill that requires a lot of effort. But unfortunately, if you're not willing to put in this effort, it is going to be costing you a lot of money. But that's all right, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the entire strategy, step by step, how we did this for Prime Train to make him 100,000 last year, 200,000 in the last 2 years, and how you're going to be able to enact the same strategy to get you there. So keep watching this video if you probably understand that there's going to be a lot of money to be made in your email just from what I've said so far. You're probably getting good email results. Like I said, maybe you're already attributing 15 to 20% of revenue, but suspect there's more to be made. Maybe the recent sending requirements and changes in deliverability have been a bit of a challenge for you, like many people. If you're doing less than 50K a month, this strategy might not be the best thing for you, just because there's going to be other marketing channels that you can probably get quicker results from to get you there with less effort. But if you're doing more than 50K a month through other marketing channels, this is going to be for you. If you have a team of junior marketers handling your emails, but you're not confident in their results, keep watching. And most of all, if you hate leaving money on the table, well, I've got some bad news. There's a good chance you probably are, but that means you should watch this video. And the strategy alone that I'm going to depict, if you just watch it, if you watch this video, do nothing else, instead of consume this strategy and apply it to your own email marketing, you could quite possibly add 5 to 10% to your top line. And if that's worth 20 to 30 minutes of your time, then it's silly not to stick around. And by the end, you'll have the entire strategy served on a platter. The issue is that what people don't realize is that not doing this strategy is costing them a lot more than they think. And let's dive into exactly how much. So there's a good chance you're probably running paid ads to your website, or you're driving traffic to your website in some way, shape, or form, organic, paid, whatever. Say to yourself right now, say it out loud, I only care about the traffic that comes to my website and converts. Anyone who doesn't want to buy right now can go away, and I don't care if you come back. That would be a pretty dumb thing to say. Getting traffic is not easy, as you probably know, and you need to ensure you're making the most of it. If you're neglecting everyone who doesn't want to buy straight away, you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. Look at this little graph here. This is representative of all your traffic. Ignore my handwriting and my hand drawing. Out of 100% of people who come to your website, 2 to 3% of people may be willing to convert now. If you have a good email marketing strategy and a good pop-up form, you're going to be able to collect the emails of maybe 5 to 10% of that traffic, of that 100%. So if you're not doing a good email marketing strategy, you're probably not going to convince too many of those people to buy. You're still going to only be appealing to the 2 to 3%. It's one thing to capture the emails, but it's a whole nother thing to nurture them to purchase. And let's look at the numbers. So say you're getting 50,000 website visitors per month. 2% convert. That's that red section. That's 1,000 sales. 10% opt-in. So you have 5,000 opt-ins. But you've already made 1,000 sales. That's 4,000 extra people who have opted in who haven't purchased, who you wouldn't have already, you wouldn't have captured these emails if you didn't have a good high converting pop-up form. But say you've done that. So you have 4,000 extra people on your email list. Say you can convince just 10% of those people to buy. That's 400 extra sales or 40% more revenue from 50,000 website visits. And at an average order value of $50 to $100, it could mean an extra $20,000 to $40,000 in revenue per 50,000 website visitors. Now, these are extreme percentages. Maybe your store already converts at 3%. Maybe you only get 5% of people to opt in. But you can see the point I'm trying to make here. If you're only converting X amount, but then you can collect the emails of a whole bunch more and then convince some of them to buy, it comes back to here, trying to convince people to go from here to here, you're going to be making a lot more money than you currently are making. And by not doing this, by not focusing on nurturing these opt-ins to the best of your ability, you're leaving all this money on the table. Now you've gone from only converting 2 to 3% of your traffic to converting 5 to 10%. Mind you, it's not instant. It's going to be over weeks, maybe even months, but you're still converting more of that traffic. Let's compare the pair. 2 stores, same product, same traffic, same average order value. Store A is not utilizing a good email strategy. Maybe they're still collecting the emails, but they're not nurturing these. They're not nurturing these subscribers. They spend thousands on ads. They struggle to retain the traffic. They think email's boring. They know they're getting a good ROAS through ads, even though they're spending tons of money on it. The ROAS is good. They're making sales, but they're converting at 2%. Over time, the ad cost is flying. They're not retaining their traffic. They're not making the most of this traffic, and they're spending so much money and their margins are extremely low. But you have store B here. He's paying for his traffic, but he's collecting 8% of the visitors' email addresses through a good pop-up form. Then he's using a strategy that allows him to build long-term relationships with customers, and now he's making 35% more revenue, a boatload more money. So apply this to your own store. This was an example for 50,000 website visitors. Maybe you're getting 1/10 of that. Maybe you're getting double that. Who knows? Apply that formula to your own store and see how much you could be leaving on the table. Now, the reason this strategy that I'm going to outline works so well is because people are sick of textbook marketing. Attention spans are going down. Consumers are sick of being blatantly sold to. People are sick of traditional marketing. They hate seeing things. You probably see it yourself. You probably see like really wanky ads or, business gurus or whatever you get targeted with. And you just go, oh, I'm so sick of this. It's so easy to see through. And the brands and the people who are transforming their marketing strategies to be more value-based are getting the best results. And this is seen in ads that don't look like ads are performing the best, UGC. The need for social proof is at an all-time high. Brands that have a strong identity and personality are scaling and rapidly growing. And brands that provide value or engagement are also getting a ton more engagement and even more growth. Sorry, I should rephrase that. Brands that are providing value are getting all the engagement. So take these 4 people. These are 4 people from Australia where I live. These 2 really authentic people in the fitness industry. They're going against the grain. They're going against the typical marketing in fitness, and they're just being themselves, showcasing their personality, and they're making a lot of money because people love it. People love the authenticity. This brand makes ads that don't look like ads. They're very TikTok, Instagram. They look like any other video you would see on the platforms that are not ads, and it's gets a ton of engagement. Then this brand, they are making ads, but they have a bit of personality behind them, and they're trying to provide value by educating their subscribers, teaching them about the bad things in the industry, etc. And they are also rapidly growing. So it's very clear. The pattern is very clear here. Customers are able to relate to these people, and it feels like a breath of fresh air, and that's what people are yearning for in today's market. Now, I'm not saying to scale your email list, you got to get in front of a camera, but authenticity is winning, and it's never been more clear. But this has not translated to email marketing yet. It's not caught on in the world of email marketing. It's the case on TikTok, Instagram, organic videos, paid ads. Authenticity is winning, but no one is doing that in email yet. 90% of people are still just blatantly marketing. Everything they send is product-centric, about a sale, a discount, or some cool features. Whereas the brands that provide value, put effort into their content, nail their deliverability, and send engaging emails are now stealing all the attention and therefore taking all the money. And that's why we're changing the way email is done. And that's why we're going to tell you how you can build relationships with your email marketing to make the most money from your list. Apart from everything that I've said before about appealing to the 97%, a big part of the reason that we want to engage the most amount of people possible and drive value is so that we don't have to care about the subject lines anymore. We provide so much value, people engage with our emails so much that they just know by default that we're going to be sending good email content. And they start opening our emails based on our sender name. Think of the power in that. We just send an email from our brand and they go, I want to open that because I know their emails are always good. I know they always provide value. So when it comes time to running sales, they're still going to have that behavior pattern where they open your emails. Then you have more engagement and you're making more money. We do this by using high converting opt-in forms, making sure our email flows are complete, and by enacting regular value building campaigns. And that's where we get metrics like this: extremely high open rates, extremely high click rates, campaigns that are doing 74K. So we need to be providing value up front. Email engagement is a privilege and people only have finite engagement in a single day. Why do you think someone should spend time out of their day opening an email about your product? The only people who would do that are that 3% who are in the market to buy. No one else is going to do that. So if we're asking for engagement, we need to provide value in return. So this is going to be expert insights into the niche, UGC community emails, behind the scenes, entertaining emails, social trends, industry trends, leaked products, customer stories, how-tos, personal stories, funny emails, blog style tips and tricks, myth-busting emails, addressing common FAQs, and tackling objections. This is what this looks like in a diagram. So if you're formulating an engaging e-com email strategy, out of every 10 email campaigns, you want 8 to be value-based. And from that value-based, they're going to come from lists like this. And then 2 out of that 10 are going to be heavy sales-based. So look at this list, try apply it to your own emails. There's a bit of a graph here that sort of dives into it a bit more. Not a graph, a diagram, sorry. So 80% of the time, we want to be sending emails like that. Now, these might not have the highest clicks or the highest sales in the individual emails, but they'll have people coming back for more, especially in the long term. So, and then if you do a lot of these, if you do these emails right and you find ways to subtly integrate your product into these emails, you'll actually sell more without seeming salesy. So by doing all of this, by providing the value up front, being entertaining, being engaging, you've engaged your list, you've provided them value. So if they don't purchase, they still feel like they've walked away with something and they're going to remember your brand for that. You've built loyalty and you've made more money. So what more could you ask for? You've done the 4 main things you need to do in email marketing without seeming salesy and by building more engagement. It's like playing long-term, but without sacrificing short-term results because these emails will still sell well. So you've made more sales than most companies who are just churning through subscribers because you've built rapport. And this is the 6 steps we use to do this for Prime Train. So list growth. We took a unique strategy to Prime Train's list growth because he's got a big organic following. He doesn't do paid ads, but if you're doing paid ads, you can do the exact same thing. At the end of the day, he's just driving a lot of traffic to his website. His vessel is just his organic social media following. So pop-up forms, that's a must. Giveaways, give away your product, and in exchange for the giveaway, instead of doing the typical thing like comment on this post or share this to your story, make a landing page and tell people they need to put their email on the landing page to enter the giveaway. Another great one, free digital products. Make a free digital product about your niche. Apologies, my mic cut out, but give away your product, and in exchange for the giveaway or a giveaway entry, make people sign up to a landing page where they give you an email. Instead of just doing the typical comment on this post or share this post to your story, make a landing page, put on some copy about the entries to the giveaway and what they're going to get, and just make people go put an email in. It's a great way to collect emails from people who are interested in your product. Thirdly, digital products, free digital products. These are lead magnets to do with your niche. For someone like Prime Train, this was free programs. We advertised free programs. To get that, you still had to put in your email. Great way to collect emails for people who are interested in his niche, fitness. Think about that for your own niche and your own industry. Maybe if you're in dog training or something, you can think of lead magnets for training your dog or training your pets. A lot of people would love that. So list growth is going to be really important, but it's important to do this. You need to provide a good offer in exchange for emails. You can't just ask people to give you their email for nothing. You need to be giving a good offer. Like in your pop-up form, you can't give a 1% off discount. No one's going to put it in. So the better you can offer in exchange for an email, the more emails you're going to collect, the more money you're going to make. Secondly, you need to build out your flows. You can't just build out some of these. You need to build out all of them. It's going to be all very extremely important in the long run of your email and when you're pushing traffic through these. So you're going to have your pre-purchase and your post-purchase flows. Screenshot this so you remember this, but it's your welcome flow, active on site, view product, add to cart, begin checkout in all your pre-purchase. And then your thank you, VIP, win back, replenishment, reminder, and sunset in your post-purchase. Build them all out. Make sure there's nothing missing. Don't spend months on it. Just get the basics out in each flow, but make sure you have each flow. The key here is to nurture people down the pre-purchase funnels. One thing we did for Prime Train is we weren't too pushy in each of the flows. So the welcome flow wasn't just about driving as many sales from new traffic. It was just about getting people active on site. Then the active on site flow was just about getting people to view products. And the view product flow was just about getting people to add to cart, etc., etc. Each time you don't need to sell. Like you don't need to sell straight from the welcome flow. Tell stories about your business, tackle objections, showcase your product reviews. This is a really easy way to take people from the welcome on flow into the next steps of the pre-purchase funnel. So these are going to be your 24/7 automated touch points. Have all of these. It will make a difference. We've had multiple clients missing just one or two of the pre-purchase funnels, and fixing it up literally added thousands to their top line in the following month. Now, the 80%, we touched on this up here, but this is going to be the crux of your campaigns. 80% of them are going to be value based. So 80% of Prime's campaigns were all value emails. So I originally thought when I started email that sending informative emails or any email that wasn't about the product was a waste of time. We'd be annoying our subscribers and we'd be leaving sales on the table. But once my mentor showed me those numbers in his account and said, you're only attributing 20%, I knew I'd been missing something. So the key to engaging the largest percentage of people on your list as possible is right there. You just send them valuable content, which gives them a reason to open your emails. Think about it. This 97% of people are not currently ready to buy. What do they need to open? Like, what do they need to read for them to want to open your emails? Valuable content. So sit down and plan out the next 30 days ahead. Write a list of 12 to 15 valuable campaign ideas. These need to be truly engaging and valuable, not just half-assed value, then a plug of your product. Let's look at some examples here. And if you're smart, you can still include your products, but it has to be in context or related to the topic of the email directly. This was one for Prime, 7 mistakes to avoid in your 20s. A lot of his demographic is young. They're trying to navigate their way through life. They may be in their early 20s or late teens. This is like a really engaging email, and we're not trying to sell anything. So they read that and they go, that was so helpful. I've picked up a lot of points in that. That was really good. Next time Prime sends an email, I'm probably going to open it. Then we'll send stuff like this. We'll send free workouts. This is a great way to give tangible advice, again, to your list, things that they want to open. Send a workout that they can go away and do, and they'll remember you for that advice. This is another brand. This is one where you plug a product a bit more seamlessly, a bit less value, but still value. A pre-workout brand, they use an ingredient called English walnut extract. Their sort of demographic is people who are really into their fitness. It's not just a standard supplement brand. It's like gym junkies. So they read this and they want to know what are the benefits of English walnut extract. That's something they would find valuable. They love learning about their health and fitness. We deliver that and then we plug our product because it's an ingredient in our product. Great way to provide value so they learn something regardless of whether they buy, but also plug our product. This is another brand here similar to Prime Train. We gave a running workout. So it's a really good way to engage them. Remember the brand name. In all of these, except maybe this one, we were not directly selling and we built amazing engagement. This was 80% of the emails. And then you saw with that, we still made Prime $100,000 and we were spending a lot of our time sending emails like these. It works. It really works. And a lot of brands don't do it. Now, 20% of the time, we're going to be trying to sell. And you do this after you've done the legwork of providing value. So 1 in every 5 emails, you can then talk about a benefit, do a flash sale, run a discount, talk about reviews, all that sort of standard selling emails. You've done the legwork in the value emails, so you're naturally going to have more engagement and sales in this 5th email. Like I said with Prime, people open this and go, crap, that was a really good email. I'm going to open the next one. Even if the next one's a sale email, they're still going to open it because we've won that rapport with them. Now, another compare the pair. You have a product pusher. He never provides the value. He just goes straight for the sales. He hardly gets any good engagement, and he's in constant need of new subscribers because he gets good results early and he still makes sales, but the subscribers just churn because they're not interested in the products anymore. Your provider here, he spends 80% of the time providing value. He has a much higher customer lifetime value and lifetime on the email list. So customers are opening the emails for a much longer period of time because they're interested in the emails that are being sent because they're not just about products. So when it comes time to sell, customers are already really engaged and he's making a ton more money year round. And the old IQ bell curve meme here, we need to spend thousands on graphic designers and talk about how good our products are and push sales as much as possible. This is 90% of brands and email marketers. But you have people on the opposite ends, the small minorities who just want to talk about things that their customers are interested in. Frequency, you're going to send 2 to 3 a week roughly. You might think this is annoying, but it's not. It's only annoying if your emails are spammy and they suck. But be data driven here. If on the third email of each week your engagement falls off a cliff, perhaps 3 emails is too much. But if you maintain high engagement all week, this is a good sign. The sixth step here isn't really a tangible step, it's more of a tip, but quality over quantity, but quantity matters. Time moves fast for the average person. If you're only sending once per week, people are going to forget about you as other brands take up more of their mental space. If you've made it to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you your options. If you're running a business owner, you're running an email list, this is what I would do. Firstly, you can do it yourself. But if you're a founder, you're probably trying to spend time working on the business, not in the business. And if you're a founder trying to do your emails, you're probably going to be doing that at the sacrifice of something else. So if you feel like you can do it and you have time to do it, sure, learn how to do it and do it. That'd be great. You know your business really well. But don't say you're going to do it and then in a few weeks' time, they look back and be like, oh crap, I never got around to it. Because a lot of founders I talk to end up doing that. They say, yeah, I'm going to really get on top of my email marketing. And then, like every other founder, they just get way too busy and never end up doing it. And it ends up being neglected. You could hire a team. Simply put, if you can afford to hire a full stack email marketing team in-house, go ahead. It'll be a good investment. You'll have a lot of hands-on and you'll probably get really good results. But you need to make sure they have real experience and they're extremely proficient. And if they are, you'll get good results. But email is not going to be a full-time job for 99% of the brands. If you're paying one or multiple employees 6 to 10K a month plus for good talent these days, you're probably not going to see the best ROI. And the odds of one employee being able to do the entire process is awfully low. Like from copywriting, design, strategies, flows, like it's quite nuanced, all of those things. So the odds on one person being able to do all of that is quite low. So if you hire in-house, be prepared to get multiple people. Or book a call with us. On the call, we'll just have a chat, see where you're at, see if we'd be a good fit. You need to vet us as much as we need to vet you. This isn't going to be a traditional sales call, and I won't be trying to trick you into just throwing your money at me. I really don't mind, to be honest. We'll simply get to know each other, and if we aren't a good fit, we can go our separate ways, and I'll just give you an action plan for your troubles. I'll be happy to look in your email account, give you an audit, see what's happening, tell you what I would do differently, and give you an action plan. For the right businesses, we will handle this entire process, from the email collection to the flow setup optimization, end-to-end campaign creation and testing, all done for you. We'll create the valuable content, everything. Your email will turn into a streamlined machine. You'll be building your customer relationships, and most of all, making more sales in the long run. So if you like the sound of that, feel free to book a call. There'll be a link below this video, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.